Dun, dun, dun.
We actually had, speaking of teddy bears, I took my 12-year-old to a hockey game. She loves hockey like her dad. I've trained her well. And it was teddy bear toss night. So the first goal that the Grand Rapids Griffins scored, everybody brought teddy bears to donate to critically ill children. And not just teddy bears, there were like giant T-Rexes and sloths. And we threw a Bigfoot, like a stuffed Bigfoot. It was so fun. But there were like hundreds and hundreds, probably in the thousands of teddy bears, T-Rexes flying on the ice. It was an absolute blast.
I think this went viral. I think I saw it on TikTok.
Might have. It was really cool.
Not that I TikTok every night and every morning for 30 minutes, but my kids told me it was on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool. I thought that was
it was
awesome.
a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Welcome everybody to the Builders Call. We've got some special content for you today, for sure. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. B-Dubs over there. And I've asked Casey to come on just because there's so much momentum going right now, guys, with recruiting. And we've been in some really big meetings the past couple of days with some of our partners out there at Foresters that mean so much to us, and so much things going on behind the scenes, guys. The attraction to what Quility is building is catching fire in the industry. We've got record-breaking numbers of agents that are looking to find a new home, and they have heard about Quility, the products that we have, the culture that we share, the opportunities that we have to build a life and to build a business. And so I've asked Casey to come on today to talk a little bit about the mindset of that building, of the recruiting, and also wanted to share real quick with you all, if you have not done this yet, and I'll probably screw it up, but the videos that Casey filmed that explains our compensation is gone viral out there in Facebook and social media world. And if you're not using them as tools to recruit and to explain and to make sure that even your current agents truly understand the opportunity and how finances work within the Symmetry model, I highly encourage you all to go watch the videos, use them when you're recruiting, and use them in your team huddles to make sure that everybody can fully explain the compensation. So real quick, before I kick it over to you, Casey, I wanted to show, if I can get this done right, by the way. Let me know if I get my screen share right. So if you don't know already, guys, you simply just go on to,
Take two. You've got it.
Almost at it. The little toolbar that is blocking my hot link to Quility.
You are, there you go. Good job.
There you go. All right, guys. So you're simply going to go over here to resources, go down to marketing, and then just scroll right on down, and right here under agent marketing video resources, we have Power Your Career Comp Explainer videos. This is what you're seeing on social media that's getting shared around so much. It's these videos right here where Casey is himself in front of a white screen going through and explaining each step of the way how you can make money within this system. So Casey, appreciate you taking the time to put together those videos, and
hopefully they're helping you guys out there. I'd love, where's the I'm not seeing comments section on my screen. Is that? I'd love to get some feedback from you guys that might be already using it as to where in the funnel in your process you are starting to use these videos. But I don't see the message board on my screen.
Yes,
I'm with you. Must be a setting issue within Zoom. I've seen that happen before, but that could be.
You can't get that straightened
well,
out.
anyone that's on the screen, I see Kashawn, Carl, and a few others here. So any feedback from you guys on that would be welcome too. I think that after I actually cut the videos, I was like, well, I was thinking that they would be highly valuable, just because I'm not sure that we've ever really, even in a corporate overview, we showed math on a making a sale, or maybe a $5,000 agency or a $50,000 agency, but we rarely have time to actually get into the weeds and get into the detail of it around lead cost and how important that is, quality of lead. We rarely have time to get into the detail of showing a 500,000, showing some actual big passive income. And so I think these videos are going to be really useful to you guys, probably a little more mid funnel than lip of the funnel, as in like, you don't really maybe want to use it as bait. You want to use it once you've kind of set the hook a little bit and you're getting them prepared for an interview. And then I'm sure we're going to probably embed a lot of these into Quility U, because, I think agents seeing it also after onboarding, as they're kind of going through their game planning, is going to be a spot where I would probably want them to watch it again if they haven't already seen it. So love to just roll up the sleeves though, guys, and anything you guys are dealing with, as Spivey, you mentioned, like we're pedal to the metal behind the scenes right now, guys. This is, we truly believe we could double this company in 24 months. What took us 12 years to do, to get to this point, based on everything going around behind the scenes, based on the text and the feedback that we constantly get from you leaders saying, broke a record in every category. Like, it is gangbusters right now. So what can we help you with? And now that we don't have messaging
comments,
like, we're just going to have to take a stab at it, Spidey.
I mean, it is an exciting time, and just, guys, I think, Casey, some of the meetings we were just talking about, guys, when you're out recruiting, it's important to talk about some of these products that we're now developing. And, we've got the first one out there, like SBLI, and so much positive feedback, about how easy that process is and how affordable the insurance is and how much more coverage you're able to give somebody based with that product. And, it's still a new product to us. We're still working out a few of the kinks, but guys, we've got 7, 8, 10 more products going to come out in the next couple of years, just like that. That are all going to be on.
Probably inside of 8 months, we'll have another 2 to 3 like QLT in the mix for you guys, with more in the pipe, because the technology that we're using to go about this process is extremely quick. And we'll probably get into it a little bit more at conference in February, as far as kind of how we're doing this and why it's such an advantage from how quickly we can actually get products approved to sell. Because that's a big part of it, is when you develop products with an insurance company, there's a lot of red tape to go through. There's a lot of approvals. There's a lot of getting approvals through all the states and that kind of stuff. So we've figured out a way to speed that up dramatically, to where instead of a product taking 6, 8, 10, 12 months to build and develop, we're able to do these things in 90 days. So, just this idea from a recruiting standpoint, I think the thing that's exciting to me the most, and the thing that I would be talking about with my teams, is just our position as a company, and the fact that there's been a massive consolidation in our industry, as a lot of you guys know, because you're the leaders on the call. That consolidation has really helped us in a big way, because it's kind of cleared out all the clutter. It's every single competitor that was in our space is now aligned with 1 or 2 big conglomerate companies. And the strategy of these big companies is not to innovate with technology. And it's quite hard for them to innovate with technology when they got 800 different brands flying all different flags with all different systems, selling all different products, working all different leads. How do you even wrap technology around all of that? So their game is to really buy and acquire premium. That's the whole game. And when you buy and acquire premium, when you buy a company, you also kind of de-incentivize the owner of that company to really innovate with technology or product development. So it's just really like there's two different directions here. You have a bunch of companies that are just buying premium and not innovating. And then you have us who are heavily in the innovating, not just the products that we sell, but how we actually go about selling them, the platform in which we go about selling these products, meaning how can we dramatically make the life of an insurance agent way more efficient, cut that time way back with how we're actually approaching our clients on the front end. And then the client experience is also very important. You know, can I get a policy in 10, 15 minutes, you know, virtually with someone now? That creates a ton of opportunity. So, and we're just kind of scratching the surface there, but it really kind of comes down to now more clearly than ever, there are two strategies in our space. One is buying premium and one is innovating. And you guys are with the innovator. No one else is focused on what we're doing right now. And that's such a cool feeling. It's kind of like, you know, we're kind of looking around like no one is with us right now. No one is playing our game. Really fun. Really fun.
It is a lot of fun. And I'd say that, you know, what made me want to bring that up to you, Casey, too, is just, you know, I don't want to disclose too much, guys, but when you think about the power of just right now, we have just the one product, the QLT term product. But guys, that product alone has garnered the attention of approximately maybe 1,000 agents that are not even in the life insurance business that are now looking to join Symmetry in the next month. Because of the product, because of the technology. Mm-hmm.
What strategy do you want to align yourselves with as an insurance agent? So think about the people you're recruiting. Do you want to align yourself with the company that's putting all the chips on the table on innovation as far as how I go to work as an insurance agent and how my client buys insurance? Or do you want to align yourself with a company just buying premium? That's where the world is right now in our space. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It is really exciting. It's the blue ocean strategy instead of the red shark infested waters strategy, right? Yep. And when you're in a blue ocean strategy, it does give you breathing room to ride the waves of the technology that's enabling greater efficiency. It allows you to ride the waves of results and community and investment. And it's been an incredible time to do that. And now I see Carlton, you've got your hand up. You got some comments on this, or is your hand accident? There we go.
Yeah, no, lots of it. I think, you know, what Casey's saying, let me just say it from not just from a regular manager and not from an owner's perspective, because sometimes it holds different weight for the same thing. So you've got the pandemic that's happened for 21 months, just like the economy crashed of 08 and 09, while CEOs are taking as much bonus money away from people who are starving from the bottom. When a pandemic hits, the owners go, hey, we're going to bump everybody up 10%. And we're not going to have this marketing company. We're not going to join this marketing company that's eating up other IMOs, because behind the scenes, they're really bleeding. Which we also know that when marketing companies do that, there's a higher risk. You got 120s, top contracts, who are cutting out their bonus checks, a big chunk of their bonus checks, so they can incentivize slingshot bonuses for new agents who may not even be here. Which really proves the core value of relationships matter. People come first. I think what's not being talked about really is the heart of what an organization is doing. And I know John Maxwell says everything rises and falls in leadership. When it starts to fall down on the elite heads of the 120s, they're leading from the front. Then you got a commission-only company that offers health insurance.
Yeah.
Did I mention you have a commission-only insurance IMO that offers free life insurance for new agent for the first year?
Yeah.
The point is on the heart of where you guys are at, and the heart of where the company is going. I think people get so caught up on, you know, I got to do this, and you forget that who you're really following. And a lot of people don't know about leaderboards when they first get involved. They don't even know what APV means. A lot of people don't know what PPL means. But what you do need to know is, you know, you got owners here on the call who, when they hired a couple of agents on who first got started in 2009, that the agents were making more money than the owners were, because the owners were sacrificing a big chunk of their paycheck. And now that the owners are 10 years, 11 years later, they're doing the same thing at a bigger scale. A lot of people weren't here at the time. So I just say kudos to you guys. And what Symmetry really is, you're promoting work-life balance, but you're cutting yourself out first to make sure everybody has it, even though it's just amazing thing of what we're all going through right now. And the SBLI Act, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for that feedback, man. And again, it's like it's just cool to see the leaders following suit as well. Sharing the wealth of opportunity is our kind of backbone as a company. It's how we started. It's our tagline. It was all about, this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. There's no better investment that we can make in our people. And then you got the Kashans of the world, the 120s, the guys getting up at the top and starting to get these big bonus checks going, yep, same thing. Why would we not reinvest it back into our company and back into our people to make it more lucrative, fast track people even quicker up the promotion guidelines? Why wouldn't we do that? So Kashan, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, man. Glad to be on with you guys. And I'll just say that, you guys are the ones that are setting the pace. That's what you can feel it. I've been doing this 16 years, and there's some of these things where it's like, I see the innovation. I see how you guys are investing. And there was a quote from Steve Ballmer. He's like one of the Microsoft founders. And what he mentioned was, real leadership is seeing an opportunity before it exists. And we see opportunities before it exists for people that haven't been here yet.
Yep.
So you think about that kind of mindset, that disposition, and that shifts the way people invest and the way they commit.
Yep.
Because when you see leadership that are taking that stand, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right.
We're taking a stand that we're long in what our position is for symmetry and quality, and I'm just super excited about what is in store for the new leaders that are coming on, because the opportunity has just gotten even better.
I love that, man. I can't wait to hear you guys on the next call. I just think that, if there was a message today to everyone from a leadership standpoint, Kashan, that it would be recognize the timing. Because if every leader on this call doesn't recognize, and I think everyone does, but if you're on the call and you don't really get it yet, you gotta understand the position and the opportunity that is in front of our company right now, because that is going to dictate how you communicate with people. It's going to dictate your intentional leadership around how you are getting your up and comers to start recruiting and start making sure that, look, if we're saying there's an opportunity to double our company in 24 months. Call it 36 months, okay? If what we think is true, then that means that we could have 250 more agency owners in the next 24 months, that we could have another $100 million worth of premium in the next 24 months. And as you guys know, we don't grow our company by going wide and finding more Kashans direct to the company. All of our growth, for the most part, will come in depth through all of you guys as leaders. And so you have to be able to pull the face mask in of your people and say, this is like fourth quarter and we're getting ready to score. And we can't take our eye off that. We got to lean into this thing. And as a leader, being able to recognize the momentum that the company is going through and kind of move people to action. It's got to be in here first. Otherwise, your people aren't going to follow that. And if you don't believe it, then you need to figure out how to get in front of the people that do and understand why and understand some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And we're trying to share everything we can with you guys, as you know, as it's coming up and the things that we're excited about, because it's just, we are drowning in opportunity right now as a company. And so how do you get market share as an agent? I can either go out and personally produce 5 to 10 grand a month and call it $250,000 a year of market share. So do you want to be a $250,000 a year piece of $100 million pie coming up in the next couple of years? Or do you want to be a $10 million piece? Because your pay will be, your impact and what comes to you will be according to your market share. So how do you get a bigger foothold in this $100 million piece of pie that's on the table? You get the foothold by recruiting and selling. And as a leader, you've got to be able to help these guys, help your team figure out how to do that balancing act. But it's got to be a priority to them. You have to help them understand, if this is what you want, you've got to figure out how to do more interviews. So let's break it down. What's the problem? Why are we not getting the amount of interviews needed? And it's usually always goes back to 4 keys to a successful week. It's because they're not investing in enough resources, or if they are investing in enough resources, they're not actually working them. Those are the main 2 things. So Kashan, any comments on kind of how you're, and I know I don't want to steal some of the stuff you're probably going to be hitting on, but
No.
How are you kind of intentionally leading your team and organizing the activities that yield the results, specifically with recruiting right now?
If I'll answer to the metrics here in a second. I think one of the things that I think is valuable for us for you to look at, because this is a builder's call, like, how do I build? How do I build? And I think it's where you had just hit a point that I'm hoping to kind of come back to, where it starts from within, and that level of conviction that you have, it comes out in the motion, in the actions that you do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when we talk about, like, all right, I can give you all the metrics in the world. I can give you, like, all right, so you're going to need to do at least 30 interviews a week to make sure that you get, 10 new hires. Okay, I can give you all of that.
Yeah.
But if you're not convicted, if you're not someone that has like a true appreciation for the opportunity that's in front of you, that's where a lot of that work is going to fall flat.
Yep.
The motions that you go through are just motions.
Yeah.
And they actually don't penetrate to the surface of getting through to the hearts of the people that you're talking to.
Yep.
And so one of the things that I truly appreciate about you guys, I've spent years with you, is that you want to reach down into the lives of people and make an impact. And that means helping them work through some things, but it's, a lot, that obligation's on them. And one of the things that I look at is, in a lot of our communications, it's drawing people out, identifying what is it that you want to achieve. Are you willing to do what you need to do to get what you want? And being able to keep them accountable to that, and giving them a safe environment to create, to be able to go through those motions. And that's where it's like there's a lot of pieces at play here, where you look at, we can give you the how-tos, but if you don't feel safe in that environment, it ends up that it's like, if you don't feel like, hey, this company that I'm going to be planting my flag, it's not going to be here tomorrow. There's a lot of things that come into play, and we look at 4 cornerstones. If that is the first of the 4, belief has a lot of impact in the rest of your results. So I didn't answer anything about metrics or what we're doing, but we're,
because you're right. If
You're
you
right.
got the right, if you see it, you can't help but to just get up and, do the work.
It means
Then you
something
become
to you.
innovative.
You can't stand still.
You can't stand still. You become so innovative. You find ways to be able to get that message out there because of how you feel about it.
Yep. That's right.
But if you're not convicted about it, it's kind of meager efforts. And so MACC, massive action, turns into minimal action. And then you worry about, you wonder, like, well, why am I not getting the results? It's a level of belief. And so how do you get it? You got to listen. You got to work. You got to associate. And there's a lot of those things. When you listen, you associate, and you work. Then it influences change. And that change, it ends up that where you become that kind of, that champion of like, because you start to experience the changes in your own life. I don't know what I just heard there, but you experience those changes, and then it becomes you share that. All right, so some of the things that we do is, we're utilizing platforms like, for instance, become attractive on social media. There's people that are close to you. Don't miss that opportunity, because if you're looking at building the bonds of trust, why go through the kind of work necessary with cold market when it's really there already with warm market. So become attractive in that environment. If you have things that you appreciate, that you value, posting that and making an attractive message that is, out publicly. But then you can say, all right, well, I have utilized that segment of really recruiting to its fullest. Which also, not to miss, your clients, they also believe in what we do because they're sending requests for it, right?
Yep.
You've gone through the process with them. They see what it takes.
Yep.
And so there's belief. It's easy. It's such an easy bridge to cross. All right, so then you've tapped that warm market. That's a part of that warm market atmosphere. And then cold market, that's where, when it comes to ads, being able to have job posting venues to be able to post on, and that's where there's going to be a marketing budget. And again, your belief will translate into how much you're investing in that, in cold market and being able to advance recruiting in that.
Love that you hit on that warm market, especially because, belief is the biggest thing that keeps people from really attacking the warm market the right way. So you gotta recognize where we are. You gotta understand timing. And when you get it, you can't help but to want to share it with the warm market, help share it with the clients. There's a lot of impact that you're going to be able to make in people's lives over the next couple of years as we continue to do what we're doing. And you just got to recognize that.
Yeah.
This is why, Casey, too, when we have clarity in our identity, you'll have confidence and you'll take courageous action. So whenever we're doing things and rolling out things that have to do with self-awareness, self-leadership, know yourself to lead yourself, it is absolutely aligned to your impact and to your income. We don't do random training. We don't pull out a nice fluffy tool that's going to, make you feel good. It really is about how can we serve you to call you up to be the kind of person that you need to be so that you can get the results that are locked away inside of you. And so you need clarity in your identity. You've got to know yourself to lead yourself. That will create the confidence and inspire courageous action. And part of having clarity in your identity is to stop trying to be someone you are not. Half of self-awareness is owning who you're not. Lean into your, I saw Gino Wickman. He's the guy that founded Traction and EOS. He had an incredible quote. And the only part I'm going to remind us of today is he goes, you know what? Be yourself and let your freak flag fly.
That's right.
And I'm like, there is so much locked up and so much waiting inside of people because you're not willing to just be who you are and throw away who you're not. And it's time for you to do that. So Kashan, super grateful, man, for you actually calling us up into that belief. And it's so vital for business results. Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that, guys. And so Brandon, Casey, Brian, you got a big decision to make right now. What we got going on with the comments is Zoom did an update this week. And so you have to click a different button. So we can keep the call rolling and not have comments, or we can encourage everybody to hang up and dial back in a minute later. What you think?
Man, that's a tough decision.
You got to seize the moment. This is leadership, discernment, and leadership instinct right here. This is the moment of truth, Brandon and Casey.
I would say just keep your comments to yourself. Nobody needs to hear your. No, I'm kidding. If you feel like if you're the commenting type, then jump off and jump back on. Is there an easy jump off process?
We have to
shut down the whole call and then all log back in 1 minute.
No, we won't do that.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah, just keep it rolling.
That's a very wise call.
Comment. Send him to Spivey's text. His cell phone number is 256.
Yeah, I'm game for that. For people that have my cell phone during the call, if you want to do a little chat, feel free to zip me a text, and we'll try to give you a shout out. Todd really wants to do that as a connector. Frankly, I don't want to do it as a pioneer, but I'm willing to do it as a pioneer. So,
thank you, Brian, for your willingness.
We got a video to kick us off, though, guys.
Oh,
nice.
do we?
Wanna roll a video right quick?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
I own and operated my own business in the sports nutrition world for over 16 years.
I was an elementary school teacher. I taught at the collegiate level.
And I built and led national sales organizations for some pretty prominent Fortune 500 companies.
I did family and children's psychology 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I was with a practice company for about 8 years. And prior to that was actually a pastor.
I was working in the home improvement industry.
I worked for a moving and storage company, sales, claims, you name it, for about 20 years.
2018, we just looked at, where we were going, what we were doing, and we didn't want to do that anymore because we felt like we would not be able to retire or get where we wanted to get financially.
Brick and mortar wasn't going to get me where I wanted to go, and it didn't have the stability I was looking for and the future I was looking for.
I had the finances, but I did not have the time for the things that were most important to me, which were my daughter.
Every day we have an opportunity to go out and do something today that will make your future self proud of you.
I've become a better agency owner, better agent, better husband, father, friend, son, brother. You name it, it's the personal growth and development that has been the most shocking thing that I got out of this.
My 97-year-old grandmother was able to move in with me, and I was able to be her caretaker during her last days. And that's something that I could not have had if I were teaching or if I were in any other position.
Prior to working for Symmetry, my life was on the go all the time. There was no life balance there. Now I have that work-life balance. I have the me time. I have the flexibility. I'm able to be the parents I want to be, and I'm financially blessed.
I can pick a day and get my 13-year-old granddaughter and have a whole day and do just anything we want, where before we couldn't have done that.
So hope is alive within us and our family again as a result of the system that's been put in place here, and we know that the future is better and brighter than it could have ever possibly been where we were before.
I was blown away by the opportunity, the culture, the training, the system, everything that Symmetry had. And quite honestly, I was looking for my next, and I found my last.
I love that. I was looking for my next, and I found my last.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
That might be one of my favorite videos.
Heck yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, that is a really good one. So Casey, we don't have a ton of time because we've got some really great stuff coming up, but also you and I've got to jump into a meeting. We've had some really good ones over the past 2.5 days from this week.
Just crazy stuff, guys.
I can't help but giggle, like the opportunities that are coming to this organization right now. Nobody would believe us if we told them.
Yep, leads, QMS, the whole Quality suite of products is going to continue to blow people away. And I would also just say that anytime you kind of roll something out with a new platform or a new product or anything, there's going to be some hiccups. We know there've been a few hiccups, but I think overall, big time props to the Quality staff, the SBLI staff for really making this, all things considered, really smooth. Because Casey, I think a lot of times people don't really understand, and I think I said this even on a call a few weeks ago, people don't understand just how big that product is. It's going to keep getting better with return of premium, some different features coming on, but there's nothing else out there quite like being able to get an insurance policy in as little as, I think our record right now is about 6 minutes, 37 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
We think there's some ways to even get that down moving forward, but I want people to really understand just how powerful this thing is. And when your ability to share this as your direct consumer platform is coming, it's pretty exciting. And it's been amazing to me how many people from an affinity standpoint, and we hope to have some big announcements coming at conference about some bird dog opportunities, that sort of thing. We have to make sure that it can scale the right way, because we've already had people, and by people, I mean dozens and dozens of companies kind of come to us saying, hey, we want this. Companies that frankly, we can't talk about for obvious reasons, but some that you wouldn't believe. Some names that you absolutely wouldn't believe. So just really exciting stuff is coming on that end. And then the data stuff that we're looking at to really hone leads in, the ability to kind of scale leads more than we've ever thought imaginable, not just with current lead sources, but with other efforts, obviously all within internal efforts. That on a meeting Monday and Tuesday, probably the most exciting meeting, Casey, that we've been in some time.
Well, I think people, I think you guys on the surface, the quality level term is slick because it's so fast and it's easy and that kind of stuff. But I just think under the surface there, you guys understand, we talked about in the builders call a little bit, Brandon, but understanding the actual technology, and you don't have to understand it that well. You just have to understand the punchline of the technology is that the ability to develop these products is significantly faster and easier than the traditional methods of product development in the insurance space. Yeah. What normally would have taken 8 to 12 months and a ton of red tape and a ton of even with using traditional underwriting wouldn't have even come out to a product like we have with QLT. But to have basically what is a fully underwritten product from a pricing standpoint and underwriting standpoint without blood and urine, and being able to get those quotes and a bound policy in 10 minutes or less, no one has that.
No, and I think that the maybe some people think let me rephrase that. Maybe some companies want you to believe that they have something similar. They don't. They don't. Bigger companies in the market, certainly not even competitors. That's not what we're talking about. But companies that many of you would be aware of from a direct consumer standpoint, they ain't doing anything like.
Yeah, I mean, they're
not even close. Brandon, I brought this up in case she covered it on the builders call. But again, for those that weren't on the builders call, what was so significant to me when we were talking about recruiting and what we're doing with our technology, again, when you guys told me about some of these 500,000 person teams that are not even in life insurance business, but are now wanting to join Quility because of the QLT product and the technology, and they know there's other products to come. I just think that should tell a message to everybody out there listening about what we're talking about. We're not talking about the same old recruiting game that we've been at for the last 10 years, guys. We got people in other industries coming in droves because they see what we're building and investing in technology and realizes it's going to change the way insurance is bought in this country.
Yeah.
And you better get on the wave.
Yep. Brandon, that's what we said on the last call. Like based on, the last few months and even just the last few weeks of, kind of roadmap meetings, what we're working on, we're sitting behind the scenes going, we could double the company in 24 months, and that may even be conservative. And so for everyone on the call, you need to be thinking about, this is a $100 million company. And as far as, volume goes, as far as revenue goes, it's more than that. Now we're talking, it took us 12 years to get to this point. So we have how many agency owners at this moment?
Probably 250-ish.
250?
60, yeah.
Think about how many
260.
All of the levels of leadership. Think about how many agency owners we have. Think about how many, directs we have now. Like that took us 12 years to get to this point. Imagine within 24 months, we get to promote another 250 agency owners.
Yeah.
That's what extra volume means. That's what this extra capacity that's coming means. And so it's go time. If
more time.
Get it. If you don't see it, you need to figure out how to get it and see it. And if that
and I think the best way to do that is get your butt to Denver.
Yes, big time.
That's how you're gonna get it. See it.
Yeah.
Get to Denver. If you haven't bought your ticket, What are you waiting for? If you haven't reserved your hotel, what are you waiting for, man? It's like this is gonna be a good one.
Very historic conference for us. That's going to be a milestone event for our company. So
yeah.
A lot of stuff we're going to be able to share, a lot more. It's hard to go into the details of some of this stuff, sometimes because we're not quite ready to share, but sometimes because it's a hour and a half call And we just don't have time to kind of dig into some of this stuff, but we're going to dig into it at conference. We're going to show you guys what we're working on, and you're going to leave that conference with the right mindset, with the right motivation to go out and, so again, what we were talking about on the last call, it starts here. You got to believe it. You got to understand it. And when you do, you'll lean into it more.
Yep.